Welcome to World of Sea Battle, the game where you sail around in overpriced floating boxes, blast pirates, and pretend you're a tactical genius while really just clicking on whoever looks the most vulnerable. It's a free-to-play open-world sailing MMO currently in early access with some promising reviews. It's set during the golden age of sail, that is, when piracy was about hijacking ships rather than OnlyFans nudes. And after playing it for a few days, it's immersive as hell. Basically, you're controlling your own ship, using your cannons, sailing and exploring to complete objectives and gather resources. Resources that you'll use to upgrade your ships and take them into PvP battle. It's currently in early access, and the team over at World of Sea Battle agreed to sponsor this first impression video. So let's get started and check out some of the first couple of hours of me playing it. Max this one out always, and let's start off with some lovely cinematic action.
Welcome, Captain, to Archipelago, a land lost in the middle of the ocean. Over a century ago, a mysterious storm cut European colonies off from the outside world.
Oh no, not
one
my
has
European
been able
brothers.
to cross the stormy waters of the endless sea ever since. On the brink of survival, the settlers rejected peace, choosing instead to go on the warpath against the local tribes.
Yeah, this sounds about
ruthlessly
right.
Conquering all lands. The colonizers gradually populated the islands, taking land away from both locals and Mother Nature.
Again,
But even that
sounds about
didn't
right.
bring
Yep.
peace. After the colonists took over the New World, their descendants began to fight among themselves for territory, wealth,
Sounds about right.
and
Yep.
glory. Then a new enemy emerged from the storm over the endless sea, the black ships of the mysterious empire. Which path will you choose? Will you pledge allegiance to one of the archipelago states, get rich through trade, or hoist the pirate flag? Who will you become, Captain, in the world of
All right.
sea battle?
So basically we colonized, killed everyone, and when we had no one left to kill, we started killing each other. Not a great look for us Europeans, but it sure is correct. In any way, let's settle on a name suitable for a captain. And right off the bat, we're sailing off. Getting to the first objective, we're ambushed by some lousy pirates. Learning to fight here did prove to be quite difficult at first, getting the aiming sorted. It is more difficult than it looks, because you had to move the ship and cannons towards the enemy, and then aiming them, followed by tracking where the enemy ship will likely go. On top of that, you can only sail slowly when doing it, making you an easy target. It does indeed have weight to it though, especially once you're using different ammunitions. For now, one is enough, and we make quick work of the first guy. Next on the agenda is just getting accustomed to all of the items and controls, and mind you, there are quite a few, before setting sail for our first town. Interesting enough though, we're actually sailing here, meaning wind's in our back and we're cruising. This is something you'll have to keep track of when playing. First town. This is where you'll be spending a lot of your time, when you're not sailing, that is. This is also where you'll find your objectives, and don't worry, the game will hold your hand through the early stages of the game. Here you store your shit. Hire sailors, aka seamen, subtle wink. Also, you may notice that boarding is a thing in this game, which is pretty cool. Here you have your weapons, where you can select which ones go where. Currently, my ship is too shit to go for anything stronger than old rusty light cannons, unfortunately. But you can still use a bunch of the different ammunitions. A bunch of different upgrades that changes how your ship functions. For example, making it faster by upgrading the sails. You then have the more generic upgrades, boosting the masts, helm, and hull for increased speed or maneuverability. Expeditionary for a bunch of a mix of upgrades like fishing speed or hiding your crew. You have the defenses, where you can also increase ramming damage, which is funny as hell, by the way, just ramming your ship straight into your enemy's rear. For combat, You also have a mix of upgrades, increased reload speed, range, and more. And finally, something unusual that is indeed unusual, and mortars. Here you can design your ship to make it look less ass. But if you've seen me play other games, you'd know I typically don't care about that, but you can use it if you want your ship to look nice. Here are my current boats: Pickle, Horizont, and Frida. There are a buttload of them in the game, found in the shipyard. For the nerds, there are some lore if you're interested. You can ignore most of it except for this one, the pride of the Swedish Empire, for like a few hours before it sunk. Now it's the pride of the Vasa Museum instead. Eventually, I'll be rocking one of the good ones. Hopefully. There's quite the difference between them. Wouldn't recommend Vasa, though. Here are the flags you can raise. Drop the black flag if you're fine with some PvP. Alright, what else is there here? You have the trading site where you can, well, trade, both with the port and with other players. You have all kinds of stuff here, even boats, but I've mainly been interacting with the port. The workshop, where you can craft things you may need with things you may or may not need. You also have smelting, and it's also where you purchase your cannons. Better cannons for better ships. The tavern is where you find your quests, where you have a bunch of different ones you can get from 3 groups of quests. Privateering, which is basically just blowing shit up. Transportation, where you'll be, well, transporting things. And assisting, where you can pick things up. You get a lot of gold and experience from all of these, so you'll be running them a bunch, especially at the start. Finally, the town hall, which frankly I don't know what the fuck I'm using it for, and the store, as with all free-to-play games. When it comes to the scope of the game, for an early access, it's actually massive. You have a buttload to explore, upgrade, and get better ships, and eventually, when ready, PvP, which you can do by yourself against other players, or by inviting friends or a guild to the party. And here's the MMO aspect of it. So all of the blue ones are NPCs, all the others, players. And I can confirm this because I doubt anyone would program bots to discuss porn stars and whacking off in the chat. In any way, the first couple of hours of me playing was just doing this because why the hell not? Not like I've got somewhere to be. Explore, combat, and dying. Then, when I wasn't dying, I used the currency gathered to upgrade my ship. All right. With that said, before I'm leaving with some final gameplay, let me give you my impressions. Firstly, I had a lot of fun playing the game. It's something new and fresh, and I love the MMO aspect of it. Seeing players everywhere makes the game feel way more alive. Secondly, the game is indeed immersive. The sailing, the combat, the atmosphere. It's cool. I like it. The downsides? For me personally, none yet. But it's definitely a niche genre, and if you don't like slower, more strategic games, then it may not be for you. But if it is, then go for it. It's free to play, so what is there to lose? You'll find the link in the description and on Steam. Before leaving you with some gameplay, make sure to drop a sub, and I'll see you in the next one.